It is Saturday the 20th of September 2025, but I'm probably uploading this tomorrow because we have a dinner party happening soon, so it would be kind of like a lot of effort to edit right now, and I also want to spend more time coding. So let's see. Today my objectives are I want to like essentially adjust the sort of gesture handler for the character and make it so that when the character's further away and close to the mountains, it gets smaller, and then when the character is closer to the foreground, it gets bigger. And then I really want to create kind of like a general class for random scattered objects. So I think probably I'm going to have that gesture handler in there. And so basically these kind of random scattered objects that like say a creator user can define, such as like a specific charm or something that has to do with like the content the user is learning. When the user taps on that and then the character goes to it, I want it to come up with something or do something. And let's see what else. I'm gonna try to take the the launch pad kind of icon. I think I'm gonna turn that into inventory instead. And instead of going to a new page, I want to do kind of the equivalent of like a modal or something. Again, I'm not very used to Flutter at the moment, but kind of like in if you're doing React with Bootstraps, like React Strap or something, when you have like a modal, that's what I want to do. And make it so that basically the user, when they collect a bunch of stuff, including from different like series and story decks and stuff, they can all use those, like add those into their own world as well. But basically, if a user is subscribed to a series, then I want them to be able to like have all these different things in the world that they can collect as a result. So that's kind of my main objective. In terms of like more on the economics or business side, I think I'm interested in having kind of like sort of like a regular kind of user aspect, and then also kind of like an educational aspect. So like as in universities or like I guess public schools and charter schools and stuff especially can have their own sort of subscription or something. So I think what I'd probably do is like K-12 schools have their own like kind of subscription model, but especially if they're public or charter school, maybe like major discount. And then like if they're like a place of higher education, then they'd pay like they'd have their own subscription model, because part of it is like, so I'm currently staff or faculty at the University of Hawaii, I guess, currently. And so I had to do like an entire training, and part of it actually talked about educational software. And so you can't really like have ads or pay like things that the students pay for, or like different things within your own app. So probably I want to create like an educational side part of it. So that is part of my plan, or that's what I've been thinking about. Let's see. I'm just trying to get through everything really quick because I know that I sort of like ramble on a lot. Yeah, I think that's everything I think about. And I will start working for the next maybe half an hour or so because we have people coming over. But yeah, thank you. Hi. Okay, so many hours later, obviously, Christine and I are out for a walk, just around, I don't know, some sort of nice neighborhoods and stuff. But I'm like under, or like nearby like a street light. Christine's petting a cat. But let's see. In terms of what I got done earlier before we had dinner with family, friends, and stuff, I don't think I worked for super duper long. I think it was fairly short, maybe 20 to 30 minutes, because then I had to go help with some stuff. But I think what I got done, like the most important thing, was I made this sort of interactive like widget kind of class, like the thing that instantiates the different objects and stuff. So that's like the placeholder one. So it'll take basically like, yeah, I think it's called interactive item or something like that. But what it'll do is it'll take in, yeah, like the sort of path or like, oh, sorry. It'll take in like a sort of like item object, which includes like the path and then like the text that'll show up on the sort of dialogue and the button text, and it like maybe it'll have all the properties and stuff. So that's kind of like the very important basis for like how these user created objects and items and stuff will work. So basically I think everything that's instantiated and shows up on the just kind of in the general character area, all of those are going to be these kinds of interactive objects and stuff. So all of them are going to be interactive object widgets. So that's done. And yeah, I think that's it. I think that's the main thing that I worked on. I was going to make it so that the little character gets smaller as it goes towards the back, towards the mountains, but then I looked at it and I'm like, oh, actually it looks fine like this. So I didn't end up doing that part. But yeah, I think that's all for my update. And thank you for watching. Okay, so I don't think I uploaded the previous update because the work time on that one was pretty short. I want to say it was only like 20 or 30 minutes or something, so I didn't have a whole bunch of time to work that day. So I'm just going to group it in with this one as well. Okay, so now it's September 24th, 2025, and the last like time lapse, I only got about 25 minutes of work done because I had to go help with some stuff. So yeah, and then I think there's been several days of a gap in between. I had to like pack and prepare for Hilo. Now I'm in Hilo, so I'm not on Maui anymore. But I hope to do a lot more work today, and I hope to continue with some of those points that I said I was going to work on for kind of like the user created objects and stuff, like these interactive objects. So I think I'm gonna work on creating that class of like the series class and everything, and have this get passed. But yeah, so that is my plan for today. I'm gonna see how many hours I can work on it now that I'm a little bit more settled, and yeah. Okay, so it's quite late, so I'm gonna try to keep my voice down a little bit. But I managed to make some pretty good progress. I was finally able to test the app on my phone and see how it looked. And that was like the first thing I did, and the scaling is like so off. So I actually spent a lot of today fixing scaling and like the responsiveness of it instead. And now like there's like a layout kind of thing that I use that like it's based off of like fractions of the screen size instead of like the number hard coded in, at least for the enter world part, which is most important. And yeah, also for the creating a new series form, some of the options were completely blocked, so I ended up like, I don't know, making everything into like a scroll view and various things, but I fixed a lot of that stuff. And over here on the side, you're gonna see the screenshot or the screen capture. But yeah, so I tested it out on my phone, fixed a few things. I tested out like kind of the item grid, the interactive item grid, just to see how everything's gonna be laid out. Obviously, I realized that like some of the bigger items will maybe fill the entire grid space, and then some of the smaller items I'll have to scale down because they look really weird right now. But yeah, that's mainly what I was working on. I didn't actually make the like proper class yet for the series for passing along those things to interactive items, but I'm going to do that next. I didn't like do actually as many hours of work today as I wanted to. I actually ended up having some other things to work on, and then I got distracted and all that. But the screen capture that you see is about 3 hours of work, and I'm going to continue to do more tomorrow. I'm just like really tired, but yeah, that is my update, and yeah.